Okay. Hey, everyone. Welcome back. I know it's been a while since we've had a solopreneur spotlight. It's been almost 2 months, but today I have a powerhouse with me right now. Yvonne McCoy. She's a woman business strategist. She's an expert at helping women entrepreneurs break past that six-figure ceiling. And honestly, she's just the person you want in your corner if you're drowning in your to-do lists. Yvonne, welcome.
I am so excited to be here. And thank you for that wonderful introduction.
You're welcome. And it's such a delight to have you here. Okay, let me start with this. So many of us become entrepreneurs because we want freedom, we want flexibility, and we want to do the things that we want to do our way. But I once have heard you say this before. The very reason that we start are often the things that hold us back. That's a mic dropping statement for me. I stopped when I heard you say that, and I'm like, what does she mean by that? So you tell us, what do you mean by that?
Boy, that was a long time ago, but it's true. The reasons that we want to do things, we want the flexibility, we want financial freedom,
Mhm.
but the way that we measure that is that we have a schedule and we get a regular paycheck, which is just the opposite of being an entrepreneur.
Yes.
Having a job gives you certainty. Entrepreneurship gives you a lot of uncertainty. And
Mhm.
so part of what happens for us so many times is that the way that we're brought up, what society expects of us is absolutely opposite of being an entrepreneur. So I have to tell you my theory, what I learned about productivity that just seems to make the world make sense to me.
Mhm.
And that is, we were first an agricultural economy.
Yeah.
And so it was, and when they measured productivity, it was bushels per acre. Then we became an industrial, and
Mhm.
it was how many widgets per hour. So that's where we get that mindset about checking off boxes. How much can I do in an hour? That kind of stuff.
Yes. Mhm.
In the agricultural, the education was like a one-room schoolhouse. So the education was very collaborative. You could move at any pace that you wanted to because it wasn't, all broke. You had all different ages and stuff. In the industrial, suddenly we're being educated to follow instructions and get the right answer. We're not being educated to be creative. And
Mhm.
so the question is that happens to so many entrepreneurs is tell me what to do,
Hmm. Mm.
not what's right for me.
That
I
is
say
right.
that it's
Yes.
the five R's. It's, you do the right thing for the right reason at the right time and the right way, and it's right for you. I
Five
mean, one of
rights.
the biggest mistakes I made was I spent $2,000 to be in a gift box. You go to these summits to be in a gift box at this huge thing. And I just knew that this was going to be the thing that was going to. And I put a lot of time and energy and thought into what I was going to put in the gift box. It was like I knew I had a limited budget. I didn't want to put the clip that you put on your potato chips. Like who thinks about business when you're eating potato chips, right? And
Mhm.
so I got this thing that you could clean your computer screen,
Mhm.
right, and clean
Mhm.
your glasses. And I was like, that'll stay on your desk for years. Did not get one phone call,
Hmm.
not one. So it could have been the right thing for somebody else if they had been speaking on the stage and they had the gift. But
Mhm.
but just that one little thing in a box with all these other things was not the right thing for me to do, but somebody convinced me to do it.
Right.
So getting back to the productivity, Buckminster Fuller says, our genius is educated out of us. And that's so true. How many times as a kid did you do something and somebody goes, why would you do that?
Hmm.
Why don't you do it that way? Why don't
Hmm.
you do it the right way? Why don't you do it
Mhm.
the way all the rest of the kids do it? Right. So they're knocking our creativity out of us.
Hmm.
So fast forward, we're now in the information society. Okay.
Hmm.
If you're a service provider, if you are a coach,
Hmm.
you are not selling information. Yes, you are an expert. That is your minimum requirement. But people can go online anywhere and get
Yeah.
information. So it's not about the information, it's about how do I use it so it works for me, not cookie cutter.
Yeah.
Um, and I tell the story that I paid $25,000 for a year-long program. And at the end of that program, I did not know who my ideal client was because
Ouch.
they had a certain way they wanted to define it. What's the age? And if I had to pick something, it would have been Canadian women whose names started with A. That was the only thing my clients had in common, which is not,
Oh
which is
no.
not, which is not a market, right?
No, it's not.
I went on a 30-minute phone call, free phone call. And the first thing she said to me is, I don't believe in the demographics like that. What situation are your clients in?
Hmm.
And I was like, oh, they're all working harder than they possibly want to
Mm-hmm.
and they're not making the income that they want. So they can't scale up and do the part of their business that they love
Mm.
because they're not making, they need to reorganize, they need to streamline and focus on one thing so that they can do what they love doing and make the money they want. Boom,
Yeah,
done.
yeah. Love that.
you know and
Mm.
that's where your unique power comes into that shift between selling and pushing somebody to buy something from you and letting them know that you understand what they're going through, right, and developing a relationship with them so they trust you.
Mm-hmm.
And then then they want your solution. So
Mm-hmm.
I often say, if you're somebody who's taken a high ticket program, did
Mm.
not get the results you wanted because it was too cookie cutter,
Mm.
the clients that you've had are really happy with you,
Mm.
then you don't have a client delivery problem, a client service problem, rather. You have
Mm-hmm.
a client attraction problem.
Could be, yes.
How do I let people know what I do and that they need me? You don't
Mm.
need to be fixed. You need to be
Yes.
found.
You need to be found.
Yeah. So
Love
that's,
that.
that's, and now that we're in the informational age, like I said, information is not what you're selling
Mm.
because it's everywhere. And I'll give you an example of this. So we went to Spain with my grandson, who was in a Spanish immersion program.
Mm-hmm.
And we took a cooking class, a paella cooking class, and it was wonderful.
Mm.
So in the agricultural time, my husband found the history of this recipe. It was cooked it wasn't considered a gourmet meal. It was cooked in the field for the field hands.
Yeah, it's a pheasant's meal.
Right. And so they put everything that they could find into it, just so that there was enough for everybody. Okay.
Mm.
Fast forward, we get into the industrial age, and suddenly we have cookbooks.
Mm-hmm.
You need a cup of this, you need a teaspoon of that, you need whatever. And no matter how, because they want quality and consistency, but it still doesn't come out consistent because my oven cooks at a different temperature than your
Yeah.
oven.
Mm.
Your taste buds are different than my taste buds,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Fast forward to the informational society. My husband went on YouTube, went through all these recipes, picked out the ingredients that he liked, took the recipe that we brought from Spain, added the other things that he liked, and came up with a fabulous dish
With a unique one. Yeah.
that was his, right? That we loved. And so the first part of having a business is knowing why you are different than everybody else. Okay. And that's because that's where the self-doubt comes into,
Mm.
right? So when I started out, I was teaching a lot about change, and I was like, everybody teaches about change,
Mm.
right? Why should they listen to me?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of thing. But my examples of change and the way people change are different than other people's. And I often say, if you have a coach and you say, I coach on water. Well, you could coach on drinking water for your health.
Mm.
You could coach on how to water your lawn.
Mm-hmm.
You could coach on how to use water to clean your clothes better. I mean, there are so many. I mean, you would think water.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the combination of your life experiences, your skills,
Mm-hmm.
your perspective on things, right? Um, and just all the things that you have done and done differently. And I jokingly say the first place to start is, what is it that you do that irritates your family?
Okay.
Because that is your gift that they have tried to get, to grind out of you. The thing that I do is I believe in getting results fast.
Mm.
Okay. So here's
Mm.
the downside to that. When my kids are sick, they go, Mom, I don't feel well. And I go, what do you take for that? To this day, my daughter will call me and say, Mom, I have the flu. Don't ask me what I took for it. Just say, honey, I'm sorry you don't feel good. But my thing is, if you're sick, take something for it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
My father
It's like
said,
the nail on the forehead.
yeah,
I just want you to sympathize, not give me ideas on how to get better.
but my gift is I can get results fast. I can help you implement things in a way that you like to work,
Mm.
so you get results fast. I was a Girl Scout, and I needed to get X number of badges in a short amount of time. And one of the badges I got was a traveler's badge. And my father said to me, I never knew anybody who got a traveler's badge who never left their living room.
Mm.
Because I picked badges. It was like, what can I do? How can I get it fast? How can I get the number of badges that I need? Yada, yada. And that's what I do for my clients. It's like, what is it that you like to do? What are you really good at that people need? Take your heart business, the thing that you would do if you could do it without getting paid, and, have a,
Mm.
what is that? And then what is the overlap with the things that you are trained on and could do in your sleep?
Mm.
Does your heart community need that? That's where you're unique. Okay.
Love
And
that.
that's how
Yeah.
you can stand out. So the second
Mm,
part of that is when you're doing outreach, when you're networking, I don't call it a pitch, I call it an introduction. Does your introduction say that?
mm,
If your introduction says, I do this, I do this, I do this, and I can do this, and I can do this, and I can do this, people do not have a clue what you do. And your unique people won't find you. And I know that entrepreneurs go through a period of scarcity. It's like, I call it entrepreneurial prostitution. It's like, if the price is right, I can do it.
Yes, yes,
Because
yes.
you need the cash flow,
Mm,
right?
mm,
But you don't lead with I can do everything. You lead with this is what I do. And if somebody says, well, can you do this? Then you can decide if you want to do that or not. But
mm,
at least you said, wait, I have my hand up. I can do this,
mm,
right? So that is the beginning of how you start to stand out and how your clients start to find you,
mm.
right? And that you show up in places where they're likely to be. So, if you're selling water, you know, you don't show up someplace that's flooded, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
You want to find out where people need you, and or you meet people who know people who need you.
Mm. And you work
So
with women who are like so busy in their business, they are stuck running in circles instead of actually growing, right? The one thing I was looking up on your LinkedIn, you say strategic impact planning. Can you break that down in simple terms? What does
I'm
that
sorry,
look
say
like
that.
in real life? Strategic
It,
impact planning.
strategy impacts planning.
Strategic impact planning.
Well, typically we start with, I mean, it's not unusual for people to get up and go, what am I going to do today?
Hmm.
Right? As opposed to when you reverse engineer it. So there's this thing that I learned. It's a sailing term. It's called dead reckoning.
Hmm.
It sounds terrible,
Hmm.
but the idea came from when sailors didn't have electronics and stuff. They would pick a point on the shore or they would pick a point in the horizon, and that's where they would go. Because when you're sailing, you have to, you've got the wind and the current, right? So you know what your end result is. It's like your North Star. It is your vision. It is your mission. So you start with that first and then
Hmm.
reverse engineer it. These are the people that I want to help. How do I want to help them? Where am I going to find them? How long, So the client, that's part of your whole client's journey. Some people go through their client's journey very quickly.
Yeah.
The from beginning to the end
Hmm.
is a very short period of time. For other people, it's very long. So for instance, I have someone who is a cancer survivor coach. So the stages are kind of, first people need to know that there's a problem. So if
Hmm.
hopefully you will go through your life, you will never have cancer, you will not know anybody who has cancer, and they will never go any further on the journey.
Hmm.
When you acknowledge that you have the problem, it happens quickly.
Hmm.
On one side of the doctor's office, you think you might, and on the other side, in minutes, you do, and you need a solution,
Hmm.
which is very different than the person who is maybe just doing general health. I'm getting, I'm getting older, I've got, and then finally say, okay, my knees are bothering me. And that
Hmm.
might go on for a year or so, or my weight is going up, and you go, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. And you could be in that, acknowledging you have the problem for a year, 2 years, 10 years,
Hmm.
right before you decide to do something about it. So the steps are the same. The speed and the length of time that you take going through it
Hmm.
differs. And that's why so many large programs don't work, because they don't take that into consideration. It's like, do this, do this, do this, do this,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
If I'm doing a B2B business, it can be very lucrative, but my journey is very long because I have to go through a lot of different layers to create trust to get into a company. If I'm doing one-on-one, it's taking longer than it used to,
Hmm.
right? People don't, there are not a lot of people who do see something one time and buy it. Typically people are going to workshops 2 and 3 times now
Hmm.
before they actually buy something. And so that's where your unique power stands out. Like I said, information is everywhere. I've gone to a bunch of different workshops on the same target. And you know what? I like this person the best. I've seen 2 other people talk about this. And yes, I need to fix this situation. But this person, I like their energy.
Yeah.
I like the way they explain things. I feel like I could talk to them, right? So that's what the difference is. And here's, I think, that one of the most powerful things. Once you figure out what your unique power is,
Hmm.
you will see that you've left incredible opportunities on the table because
Hmm.
you didn't think of yourself as having any input into that. Now,
Hmm.
I know that sounds weird. So you're saying, how does that, you know, having that strategic approach helps you make better decisions.
Hmm.
You
That
have
sounds like magic.
so you have two decisions, two opportunities. One opportunity may be a short-term opportunity, and it's not really to your clients. It's, but you can do it.
Hmm.
The other opportunity may take you a little bit more work, but it's going to put you in front of a whole lot of people who could potentially be your clients,
Hmm.
right? You may say, I'm not ready for this big opportunity, but you are, because you're their solution. You're already ready. You already have what they need,
Hmm.
right? And you've let that be on the table. And so you choose to talk at the smaller thing that doesn't give you anything, which reinforces the feeling of like, well, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm not ready, as opposed to going to the bigger thing where
Hmm.
you're going to find the people that need you and you make conversions.
Hmm.
And I think this is the thing that's so important. You don't have to be the best. You just have to be ahead of the other people that need your help, because there are always going to be people that are better than you are,
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
are further along than you are, that have more experience than you are,
Hmm.
but there's never going to be anybody that's you.
Yeah. That makes so much sense. And I know one thing is you're very big on helping women find hidden profit opportunities. That sounds like magic to me. And how do you help people uncover the money that's just sitting there waiting to be found? I want to know
So
that too.
part of what we do is we take a look at, because we stay in creation mode. Well, this didn't work, so I'm going to build another course. This didn't work, I'm going to do another thing. This didn't work. So one of the things easy things that we do is we take a look at what you've already got in your toolbox.
Mhm.
And so sometimes the course of stuff is right the way it is.
Mhm.
The messaging is wrong. And so once you can put it into, this is how I do this differently, or this is who needs me, you can use what you've already got. I call my program an implementation program. I'm not here to sell you anything new. I'm here to show you what you've already got that will work for you if you message it differently, right? And the other
Mhm.
thing that people have is typically is a pricing issue. Most people are way under pricing because they don't see their solution as having value.
Mhm.
So right there, I mean, if you increase your prices, 20%, right there, you found money,
Mhm. Yes.
right? And here's the thing, okay? We're like, I didn't get any clients at this price. Why am I going to get more, clients at a higher price? Well, because at the lower price, that's not the people who value you. At a higher price, those are the people who are all in. I mean, I cannot tell you the difference between, when I started my business and I was like, yes, we can do this. And can you please do the trying to get a sale, right? And
Mhm.
people who, when you get to that conversion conversation, you're like halfway through it and they're like, I want to work with you. How much does it cost? And then they
Correct.
pay in full.
Mhm.
I mean, and the other part that is unimaginable is they do the work.
Mhm.
They do the work. And so when you know what your unique power is and you have your right client, that client will get so much more from you because you enjoy working with them. They enjoy working with you and they do the work and they get results. So, for instance, what I've done is this is just kind of a personal thing, my style.
Right.
Okay.
Mhm.
So I used to try to do VIP days and I couldn't
Mhm.
do them. I don't know
Mhm.
whether I just didn't like being with somebody for 6 hours or I didn't have the energy, but I just, I couldn't do it. And after I finished the day, it was like, oh, we should have talked about this. Oh, we should, I felt like I didn't give them the money's worth.
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm.
Because it's not just about getting the information, it's about getting the implementation. So now what I do is I do a VIP month
Mhm.
where we work together, and
Mhm.
and I price it at $2,500.
Mhm.
It's 2,000 if you pay in full,
Mhm.
but we work an hour and a half to 2 hours every week. And
Nice.
at the end of each session, you have things to go do. You have action steps that you have to take.
Mhm.
The first one is how do we change your introduction? So when you go into groups,
Mhm.
you're actually talking to the people that you want to,
Mhm.
right? Then we have something to offer in that group. If you're networking and the only thing choices you're giving people need is that they have to make a bold choice, like book a call, come to my workshop, right? You
Mhm.
need something else, like sign up for my newsletter. Here's a free resource that you can do,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So you start off with that, and then we start to look at where do the programs I already have fit into that client journey.
Mhm.
Is it priced appropriately, right? the people that I sign up for my VIP month typically roll over into a longer coaching program because they've gotten results in that month.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's a way for you to build more trust with them. They work
Right.
with you for a month, they trust you, they get results. Yes. Why wouldn't I want to keep going?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yes.
So we structure your program, and we also try to, if you've listened to me at all, you know I like acronyms.
Mm.
So I've just renamed my program Be Found. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it stands for focus on the thing that you're really good at, that you really love,
Mm-hmm.
do outreach consistently with that in mind, right? Understand your client's journey. What are the problems that they're going through so that you can talk about that?
Mm-hmm.
Nurture relationships, not just with your clients, but the other people that you meet along the way, just like you and I
Yeah. Yeah.
are doing stuff together, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the one that I think people forget is the D. You need to delight people, deliver, and delight.
Yes.
If you don't leave feeling like, oh my God, this was amazing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you need to delight them before you start working with them, because that's like giving them an appetizer. Here's the appetizer of what you get when you work with me.
That's right.
Right. So I help people come up with recognize their process, because everybody has a process, right? And then give it a name that makes sense for them. So when they're talking, they don't have to say, I do this, I do this, I do this, I do this. You just say, I have a Be Found process. I call the Be Found framework.
Mm-hmm. Love it. Well, Yvonne, just before we wrap up, I always ask my guests this. What last words would you like to leave for my audience? And do you have a gift for my audience?
I absolutely do have a gift. And because it's you, I'm going to do something a little bit special.
Oh.
So the gift it is my 5-day challenge to identify. I think so many people get stuck, like I said, on who's your right client, right? So this reverse engineers that. It takes a look at the clients that you've had, and then we go backwards into the client journey so that you can start to really see what your unique power is. If you sign up for this, I will also give your clients, because it's you summer, I will also let them book a call with me and help explain any problems that they had with the course, and help them verify what their unique power is, see where the gaps are in their client attraction, and where they're leaving money on the table. So this is a free 30-minute phone call that you may walk out and say, I got some money on the table.
Oh, that's nice. That's fabulous, Yvonne. That was gold. Well, you all, if you're tired of feeling like your business is running you instead of the other way around, you know what to do. Book a call with Yvonne. I'll drop the links in the description below. Take a look, connect with her on LinkedIn, take a look at her website, and get that gift she's offering you. And if you guys want to be notified of more solopreneur spotlights like this, don't ignore the subscribe button and hit that notification bell. Leave us a comment below and tell us what you loved about Yvonne, and make sure you get in touch with Yvonne. Thank you guys. Until the next time.
Thank you.